Welcome everyone, this is the 31 Days of Dread, and I am your host, Peter A DeLuca AKAPAD, and this is where we do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's 30, if you can't count, that's 31 movies celebrating the greatest genre of them all, the greatest experimentational platform of them all, the greatest young filmmaker discoverer of them all. It is horror, 31 days coming at you. Look out, ghouls and ghosts, it gets spooky. Alright everyone, coming out of that intro hot, this is what I call the telethon portion of the podcast. This is where I pitch myself to you for your support. Your support means everything to me because we're fighting, the AKAPAD army is fighting against algorithms everywhere. Algorithms, I ate some cereal earlier today, I dumped it into my bowl and it was full of algorithms. Okay, bad joke. Alright. Sharing this podcast, telling your friends about it, leaving comments, leaving reviews. This is how we grow AKAPAD's audio audacity. Your support there is more valuable than anything other than like a high five in person, because I'd love a high five in person. AKAPADers, day 8, almost 8 o'clock, October 8th. Of the 31 Days of Dread. Welcome to the big show. Welcome to the show that's all about horror. If you want to hang out with someone that obsesses over horror movies once a year, hang out with me. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, good day today. Friday. I feel so good. Completed my comic book deadline last night. Stayed up until like 3:30 working on akapad.com. That's my website. Yeah, all that stuff's in the intro. Didn't get a lot of sleep, rock and rolled, did the 9 to 5, got a haircut today. New hairstyle, people. New hairstyle drops. You can catch it. Because tomorrow's the wedding. Not my wedding, someone else's wedding. But the pictures will be up. If you want to see the freshly fresh do, find me on Facebook at Peter A DeLuca. We're talking one of my bucket list movies. 100 times. What am I saying? 1966. I want to say that. You know why? Because I'm right here in front of me. I'm looking at a spiritual sequel, companion piece to this movie that was made in 2011, 2012. You read the title. You know it's the Wicker Man. The original, not the Nicolas Cage one. And the reason why this was important, and the reason why I just had to do it this year, I wanted to pair this with a remake because I love horror remakes. I very much support horror remakes. I don't know why people flip out about that. And I love the movie Midsommar. That was day 1, I think, 2 years ago for 31 Days of Dread. The Midsommar, I've seen Midsommar 5 or 6 times. Every time I watch it, there's new things I pick up on. It's a movie that you can dig around in, you can roll around in. That's what makes it so good. It's also long. It's all of these things. All these things that make the film-going experience awesome and exceptional. But you always hear, it's just like the Wicker Man. It's just like this. It's just like that. Back in the day, this guy Bill used to work at one of the comic shops with me. Yeah, I would say Bill and I, not a lot of love for one another. But hey, whatever. I mean, you don't have to like the people you work with. You really don't. You just both have to get the job done. And Bill would reference Wicker Man a lot. And he was a little bit of a pervert. His name was Bill Grover, I believe. I could be wrong. But Bill was a pervert. He was a weirdo working in a comic shop, surrounded by teenager. He was just one of those guys. Now, I was like very much younger than him. So, you know, like, it's different when you're chasing tail and you're old enough as all the other tail in the mall. But whatever. Watching this movie, it's such a relief to get this off of my bucket list. When I saw this, I understood why Bill would bring this movie up all the time. it's got some of the best nudity, some of the best bodies of the time. And I think if you saw this movie growing up, being younger, it leaves a major impression with you for that. Now, for me, as an adult, you can always appreciate a good naked bod. Trust me, male or female. But there's a Christianity. There's a faith position in this movie that is, I don't think, could ever be done today. I don't think it can be replicated. I think this movie, the original Wicker Man, do I have the right year? Is it 1966? 1960, 1973. Wow, I'm way off. The novel is 1967. That's where I'm a little bit confused. Okay. Yeah, so 1973, like heavy on occult movies, heavy on satanic ritual movies, Rosemary's Baby, the list goes on. But I think if you saw this movie if you were younger, especially in the 80s, and you're not going through like the plastic, the fake boobies, like just the way how the bodies were getting reformed cosmetically within the 80s, that and these are the bodies that would end up in Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, we would get to silicone. So I'm sure there's few examples of movies that had the range of good looking people, like women, that this movie has. And these women bring the chops, move the story along, they crank up the angst, it's a slow drip, all of these things, rising tide type storytelling. And you can really see just visually how this movie can land, how it can resonate. And then on top of that, we add this Christianity angle, this angle of faith, love of God, love of Jesus, and the man who is, tricked into a ritual, but he has unwavering faith, praying to his God as he burns alive. Very Lords of Salem, but I don't feel going as hard in the paint as this movie did. I don't think it can be done today. And it's kind of opening up a little bit of Pandora's box curiosity, because I kind of want to redo the stack now, because we do have Scream problems, by the way. Scream is off of the 31 Days of Dread. It's not available on Netflix anymore. I'm panicking. I can add 3 movies relatively easy. One of these movies I can add is The Wicker Tree, which is the spiritual sequel to this movie, made in 2011. Our director, Ron Hardy, I mean, he legit made one of the best horror movies of all time. But he's only made 4 movies. The Wicker Man, 1973. The Fantasist, 1986. Another movie in 89. And then we have The Wicker Man, 2011. The Wicker Tree, 2011. So, yeah, it does make me curious of his other 2 movies. Yeah, and even like The Wicker Tree is based on a book called Cowboys for Christ. Awesome stuff. I mean, just really eerie. No, but this movie, I mean, I was going to do a bucket list run. One of the movies that came after this wave was going to be Frailty. Another one was going to be John Carpenter's The Fog. So I would really, and look, the Nicolas Cage remake gets so much attention. It's a meme. It became a bucket list movie, at that point, right away. Thank you, internet. But, I kind of rather do a Wicker Man block here and then do a couple more bucket list movies, and then along the way, chip away at the other 2 slots that were missing through Scream. So I don't know. I might add Wicker Tree right into the Scream stack. I'm maintaining my momentum for now. I can't wait to talk to you all about Frailty. Oh my god, I love that movie. But everyone, this movie is, I mean, just reading off the Wikipedia, often referred to as the Citizen Kane of horror movies. I kind of would agree with that, just because we saw a modern day attempt to top this movie with Midsommar. And this movie is almost like one half of its length, which is amazing. If you consider the Midsommar extended cut, right? And it's 100 times more effective. So there you go. Rock and roll, 31 Days of Dread. Tomorrow, we're doing Nicolas Cage. Let's go. And to continue this telethon, when we're not talking about high five, there's other ways to support me. I'm a living professional. I'm a full-time freelancer. Anything you see on this, like here on this podcast, or see my social media, I make everything. It's all made by me. That's a part of my pitch to you. And you can purchase professional services through akapad.com. That's a pipeline to me if you want to send me a message. But also, while you're there, you can sign up for my newsletter. You're going to get deals. You're going to get coupons. You're going to get 2 free trading cards mailed to you free worldwide. And they're 2 Wolfpack trading cards, 2 original characters, for upcoming comic book work. And speaking of comic books, you can go to Etsy, type in Uzi Susie, and that's where you're going to find my mini comic. You can purchase existing issues and pre-order upcoming issues along with bundles if you missed any, like issue 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. There, Uzi Susie is waiting for you. And keep an eye on Indiegogo. A lot of my bigger comic book projects will be available through Indiegogo. All of those updates will be here on this podcast. So if you're a regular listener, I'll let you know. We can rock and roll from there. So everyone, thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me on social media. AKAPad69, Instagram, and Xbox. That's right, you can play Halo with me. Just straight up AKAPad on Twitter, straight up AKAPad on the Facebook. My business page is there. My personal page is there. Hey, be a personal friend of mine. I don't care. Let's talk movies. Let's talk creativity. Let's talk fun. And just, who cares? Do you like, the Transformer movies? I love them. We can talk about that all night. So meet me there and we'll rock and roll. Let's get talking. We got a movie to discuss.